And staying in the region, Mexico's economic growth has been rather lackluster in the first quarter of this year. That is leading some banks to consider lowering their growth forecasts, including the Central Bank of Mexico. Frank Contreras joins us live from Mexico City with the details. Frank, what are the growth projections?
Well, at this stage, it's completely optimistic if you ask the central bank governor. Last week, he was out there touting the possibility of growth, up to 5% growth, he said, largely due to structural reforms that have taken place in this country, things like the energy reform, Michelle. But now, suddenly, notes have come out from a central bank meeting that took place last week, and they indicate that all the voting members on the Mexico Central Bank are concerned that the bank itself will have to lower its growth projections for this year, 2014, when it publishes its monthly inflation reports, its quarterly inflation reports, I should say, in May. Several banks have already decided to lower their growth estimates. One number coming from Banorte indicates that that bank expects a dismal 2.7% amount of growth this year. One independent analyst I spoke with earlier said there are at least 4 reasons to explain why growth has been so slow in Mexico's first quarter.
It's basically the same factors that explain the slowdown in growth in 2013, which was a very important crisis in the construction sector, a slowdown in exports to the U.S. because of a slower U.S. growth rate, less government spending and less government investment, and also the slowdown in remittances.
So, Frank, how has the lowering of growth expectations in Mexico fitting in with last year's performance?
Well, last year, Mexico's economy really had a hard time, very difficult time with growth. It was due largely to hurricanes that destroyed parts of the Pacific coast. So the government found itself lowering growth expectations on 4 different occasions. Now, at this stage, Mexico's finance ministry is sticking to its guns, its consensus report saying that it's expecting 3.9% growth this year. Of course, the projections for growth data are out May 23rd, and at this point, it seems like Mexico should do at least a little bit better than last year, Michelle, which of course was a very difficult 1.1% GDP growth rate here in Mexico.
All right, good to see you, Frank. Thanks so much. Frank Contreras live in Mexico City.